episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections.
All right, we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All Season 365 podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all platforms. Stay updated with the latest episodes, coaching insight and football conversations. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and X channel as well. Thank you for listening and being a part of the All Season 365 community. Today, we have a special guest. We got my man, Coach Kevin Reddick, head football coach at Rolesville High School in Rolesville, North Carolina. What's up, Coach? How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm making it, man. Appreciate you for hopping on. And before we got on the call, we're just talking a little bit about what's going on in the summer and all that good stuff. So appreciate you for making time to hop on with us a little bit today, man.
Man, look, I appreciate you for grabbing me to give me, catch my breath a little bit.
For sure, man. Yeah. Absolutely. So before we get into our football talk today, give our listeners a quick snapshot of your career journey up until this point. I had a chance to listen to it in Charlotte, right? But give our listeners a snapshot of how you got into this thing, your journey, and all that good stuff.
As far as what, my whole deal from high school?
Well, from high school to coaching.
Okay, from high school to coaching. All right. So from New Bern, North Carolina. Played there, won a state championship there in 2007. Went on from there to go to Hargrave. So I went to Hargrave Military Academy for a semester. And then I went back to Carolina. So I actually was at Carolina, flagged me, and then I went, to Hargrave and then came back to Carolina in January. Ended up going to Carolina, being a 4-year starter. Playing under Butch Davis, Everett Withers, and then Larry Fedor to finish out my senior season. Went on to play 4 years in the league. Played with the Saints, the Panthers, the Bills. Did a little traveling 1 year with the Chargers and the Rams, and finished out my career in Buffalo. And then, in 2017. Shoot, man, I was on the couch chilling. I ended up, start training a little bit and, trying to figure out that, what's life after football look like. Started training just to, stay busy. And then, started loving it and, started training. And I was in, Alexandria, VA at the time with the wife. And then we ended up moving back, start a family, had some kids. And I want to say it was, COVID year hit. I end up starting my own fitness mobile gym where I ended up going to people's houses, and I had the whole weight rack on the back of the van, all of that. It was a pretty neat deal that I started. And after that, just trying to, was still trying to figure out what's next. It was something else in me that I needed to be doing, which was being around the kids, coaching them up, being able to give, everything I got and, just kind of pouring into them. So I ended up getting in coaching. And my first gig was out at Jordan. With Coach King, my guy, brought me on. And then I was there for a year. Me and the wife, ready to have another kid. And the time frame getting out of school over there was a little crazy. I don't get out till like 4:15, which is crazy to me. So, just the timing and all of that stuff, logistics that go with that it wasn't working out. So I ended up hitting some of my college guys, the coaches that I know that still coach in college, and seeing if they knew anybody at Rolesville. And that's when they, connected me with Rack. And, me and him kind of hit it off day one. He brought me onto the staff with open arms, brought me in to be the linebacker coach, something, ended up going on and ended up making me the DC in 24 in the spring. So got there, was the DC my first year, went to state championship, had some studs on defense. Was the DC last year, 25. And then, of course, we know my guy elevated up and went to, to coach on at Duke or be a player personnel at Duke. And just kind of passed me the torch here at Rolesville. So been around the guys. I don't think a lot of people understand that I was here in 24. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I
right.
was. I'm going on being my third year here, being around the guys. Rat used to try to tell people this all the time. Kev was one of the reasons. Nah, I just wanted to come in and add structure because
Yeah.
most of the teams got all these dudes, but we don't. And a lot of them don't have structure. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that was just something I wanted to come in and add because I was really just, it was the defense. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I came in, added some structure, some accountability, some discipline,
Mm.
which kind of, which helped us add to that because before it was a straight up offensive team here at Rolesville. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was high end offensive guys doing what they do. I came on and added some structure. And then, with me and Rack still go back and forth to this day. It became a let's just say we became a team. You know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying?
For
I
sure.
still like to say we're a defensive team. I still,
Yeah.
so but yeah, man. So that's my that's where I'm at, man. It's not a whole lot of coaching experience, but I got the experience from actually being in it, being around it. I come from a championship program in New Bern. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So everything I've been through, everything I know and done, I'm implementing that stuff in, here in Raleigh. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. And it's
So
proven, man, proven, and we'll touch on the Eastern North Carolina stuff
yeah,
as well, but proven results, man. And
yeah,
since we talking about that, you and I, we got a chance to really talk and kick it, working those stations at the Under Armour in
yeah.
Charlotte. So what did working at the Under Armour Combine teach you about evaluating talent and building meaningful relationships?
I mean, I would hit more on the relationship part than anything because even before I got into coaching, I would evaluate players back in New Bern, and my brother was coaching, and I would try to put him on game like, hey, y'all need to, do this guy, or you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
without stepping on toes because I wasn't
right.
even coaching at the time. But just being out there and being able to be with the linebackers and some of those guys I got to see, like Malik Creek, got some
Yeah,
two studs right now. Yeah, some
real
dogs.
deal.
You know what I'm saying? And it was good to just get out there, and be able to just coach. At the end of the day, it's for the kids. You know what I'm saying? We all want them to be successful. So, but it was good just to be out there evaluating them, giving some of my expertise, giving them some of my thoughts on how to take their game to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And then just relationships, man. I'm learning that a lot of those things go on. A lot of those things happen because of relationships. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then my dog, my brother Kennedy Tinsley, my college teammate, is the head coach at Mallard Creek. So learning from him some things. Just networking and connecting with people. At some point in time that's going to transition and try to happen here in Raleigh at Roseville. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want to do is bring that here to Raleigh instead of always having to go out to Charlotte and
Yeah.
make our local kids go out there. So connections and networking, man. It was good. Met some different people, met some people who knew of me, and it was good to put a name with a face with a lot of those guys.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And that's part of the reason why I enjoy it most. I mean, obviously working with other people's kids, but
Yeah,
also, and you got a chance to see some of your guys, right? So I got a chance to
yeah,
see them and put a face with a name. And I got a chance to see our guys, right, at Clayton, out there and former athletes as well. But mostly
yeah,
break bread and fellowship with your coaching brothers in this and kind of find out everybody got the same issues. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
pretty good to cross paths like that, man. And but you also mentioned Eastern North Carolina, man. And for those who
Hmm.
don't know, coach is from Eastern North Carolina. I'm from Eastern North Carolina, so that tie is there off rip. But
Yes, sir.
how did growing up in Eastern North Carolina shape your approach to coaching and building relationships with your players?
I mean, this is where I think it kind of trumps a little bit just because it's relatability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm able to relate to my guys. You know what I'm saying? I've been in their shoes. I've been the 4-star guy, and like I tell my guys all the time, y'all got y'all stars out of Raleigh. I got mine I got mines out the mud. You
For
see what I'm
sure.
saying? Like
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
gutter and being
Big
all the way
difference.
back home. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh yeah.
I'm able to relate to them on that. But just hitting on the Eastern North Carolina deal, man. It's just different back home. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
Like we were brought up on straight weight room. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? Like
Yeah.
the football aspect that'll come around. But creating that mentality, putting them through 300s in the winter,
Mm.
which we
Mm.
done, running them 110s in the spring, which we did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right now, still working on that speed aspect and
Yeah.
conditioning right now. That's how we came. That's how I
That's
came up
it.
in New
That's
Bern.
it.
And that's something that I'm bringing here. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if we got 2 hours to lift, or if we got, if they giving us 2 hours, the county, to be with the kids in the summertime, whatever the case may be, just talking in general,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an hour and a half of lifting,
For sure.
strength and conditioning, and then we'll do 30 minutes of football. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Like
No, absolutely.
just because we got some time to football, but I don't want it to be so much we're focused on football that we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it starts in that weight room for us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's the difference that I'm bringing here. I'll just tell you my opinion. When we used to play Raleigh teams, we just always thought it was weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
talking about like when
Hmm.
I was in high school. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Just because
Yeah.
we felt like they didn't live out here. And
Yeah.
that's still the case sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I think it's still some schools around here that still got that case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm big on. I'm trying to bring the countryness to the city. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh, for sure.
yeah, man. I mean,
Well, it's funny that you say that because that's what I remember, man. Like peeling back and thinking about Sampson County, man, and hopping and all that good stuff. I just remember spending a lot more time in the weight room
yeah,
and lifting and running outside and a lot less schematics and teaching and stuff like that. And
yeah, facts.
and you played everything out there, man. You played everything. I'm pretty sure you got recruited to not just play football. You'll probably be recruited to help anchor in
Yeah.
basketball, bang inside and just throw a little bit and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But yeah, but looking back at Eastern North Carolina, man, I just think it gives you that blue collar mentality.
Yeah,
You can talk and do all that stuff too, but at the end of the day, it's about the work you put in and
that's
being
it.
consistent and being woken up. I don't know if you guys had roosters. We did, but waking
Come
up
on,
by
man.
the roosters, you know what I'm saying? So,
Come on,
you know,
man. All the
so,
way.
so, so that's pretty much what that was, man. But you also mentioned college football, and for those who don't know, and Coach touched on a little bit, but college football. So looking back at your college football playing career, what
Mm-hmm.
experience or lessons had the biggest impact on your development, both as a player and most importantly as a person?
Mm.
I mean, you dealt with a lot of transition, and that's what the people don't know. There was a lot of turnover, a
Yeah,
lot of transition,
yeah,
but despite all that, you didn't give up. You was like, oh, let me
yeah.
adjust to
Well,
what's going on.
well, here's the difference though, Coach. I
Mhm,
needed football. Like
mhm.
that was my way out from New Bern. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's. I mean, just speaking back on that again, the country, but like back home is we look at that as our way out. This is
yeah,
our way out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was for me. I had to make it. Like I had to make it out of New Bern. I had to make it for my family. You know what I'm saying? Of course, just being good at football since Pop Warner, it just each year you just had to get better. And for me, it was like going to Hargrave is just a
mm,
little speed bump. You know what I'm saying? Because
okay, yeah.
people don't know about Hargrave. That's straight military, baby.
Straight
You know,
military.
straight military. You up in the morning, you cleaning the barracks at
Mm,
4:30. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So, um, I had to make it out. That was my mentality. You know what I'm saying? And not just for my family, but for myself. Because this is the game I love. I want what I want my legacy to be like. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Because we all played with guys who were good that didn't make it.
Yeah,
You know what
didn't
I'm
make it,
saying?
man. Didn't
Yeah,
make it.
I didn't want to be one of those guys. And just getting to college and getting that experience and um, you know, I didn't start my first 3 games. When I got there in January, I came in and was working. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I was behind the 8 ball. That's
mm,
how I took the approach. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And same thing with our guys. we try to get everybody out in January, and
Yeah.
that's the approach I try to tell them now, man. You behind the 8 ball still.
Oh,
Yeah, you going to January, you ahead of the
yeah.
freshmen, but you
Yeah.
behind the guys that's already there.
Mm,
So you got to come in that thing with a chip on your shoulder. You got to be ready to work. You got to go
mm,
outdo everybody on the team. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So
mm,
that was my deal. And I had some great coaches, man, and that developed me, into the player I was. Like I said, I didn't start the first 3 games. My first game starting was a Thursday night against Florida State. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? And just again, taking everything my coaches gave me and applying it to what I knew already on the field, and just going to being the baller that I know I could be.
mm.
So
Nicely stated, man. And you also a guy like a buzzword that I hear you talk about all the time is expectations,
yeah,
consistency, is accountability. From your experience in college and the NFL, expectations and accountability is very, very important. So,
yeah.
what are the daily expectations placed on college and professional football players that high school athletes might not understand? I mean, at the end of the day, they see the glamour and the glitz, but
Yeah,
and I know behind closed doors, there's
yeah.
expectation, accountability. So tell us a little bit about what that is like from a day-to-day approach.
Well, from back then to now, the expectation is, of course, way higher because they getting crazy bread now.
Crazy bread. Yeah.
So it's if I'm investing in you and I'm putting this money into you, my expectation for you is to come in and do your job.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not high school, right? Even though my approach, I take it the same way with my guys. Like, man, you got to come in and do your job. I don't care how many stars you got. If you don't do your job, you got to move around. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm trying to prepare my guys for the same situation right now, right?
mm,
But coming in college, man, you get money. You now you in the league, like quote
that's
unquote. You know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Crazy.
So it's like, hey, if you don't do your job, it's only so many times we're gonna tell you, and then we're gonna
Mm,
just say, hey, man, I think you need to get in the portal. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they
Straight
telling
like
them,
that. Straight like that.
yeah, I think it's time I think we're gonna go in a different direction. So
Mm,
um I would say the expectation from college kids, man, now is just to come in, do your job, and go 110% in whatever you do. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Don't come in and
Absolutely, coach. So yeah, the expectations, you touched on the expectations, and it sounds to me like it's very important that high school athletes must learn how to operate like a pro.
yeah,
For example, D2. Like it's funny because even when I was in D2, I remember Coach Marcus White, man. He was our defense coordinator. He told us straight up, man, we playing around. Like he wasn't arguing. He said, "Hey, man, hey, we'll just take your money, man, and keep it moving." So that's pretty much how the game go for
that's
those
it.
who plan to pursue the highest level, and it's like that on the Division 1 level, and ultimately in the NFL as well, man. So
Yeah.
good point there. So we'll just touch on recruiting right quick, Coach. So
Mhm.
how has recruiting evolved since your playing days?
I mean, it's still for me. It's still the same.
Mhm.
The difference is they're talking about money at the when they going to meet with these coaches or these colleges, the GMs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's different, but it's still pretty much the same. But the difference is now they're just talking about money when they come to the table. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah,
I mean, listen, I'm for the kids getting that bread, man. Just looking back on, when I was in school, it was just
I know,
like,
right?
using that name, like, even
Yeah,
all the way down to like, I tell the boys playing NCAA, you know what I'm saying? Like they had a star up under me when I was on the game,
yeah,
and I'm like, "What that bread? We got a little ten
that
thousand
part,
dollars for that."
that
But
part.
you know what I'm saying? Like
They
when you
they
look at
selling
it,
million. They selling millions of copies though, man.
yeah, when you look at it in reality, it's like, yo, hold on now, you know what I'm saying? So man, the game, the recruiting is, it's still the same. I don't see a big difference. Again, like I said, just the money.
Mhm. Yeah, so the money is infused. So and we also see mistakes all the time as well. But your seat's a little bit different
Yeah,
now as it was before. As a high school head football coach, what is the
Mhm.
biggest mistake you see players and their families make during the recruiting process?
Uh, man. Well, for starters, not going to camps.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
For starters, this like and just being in this seat, for the past month, 2 months,
Mhm.
it's like you gotta go to camps.
Gotta go to
Like
camps.
nobody coming to see you just play your games. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
you got your tape, but I need to see you in person.
Mm.
You got to go to these Under Armours, these rivals. You got to like try to get in the door to get your name out there. Of course, I know some of that stuff is for stars,
Yeah.
but it's also giving you numbers for these guys to see. Because
Like, verify numbers.
yeah, these coaches are gonna look at them numbers. So not only that, but hit the mega camps. Like I'm telling
Mm.
all my dudes, like yeah, go to these like specific team camps, but go hit the mega camps. Go where there's going to be more than one college coach. Matter
Mm.
of fact, go where there's going to be more than 5 college
Mm.
coaches at this place.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that I can showcase my talents or whatever they may be to 20, 30 different coaches and I, at least catch one of their attention. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm.
So that's, I this past, spring and summer, well, this past spring going into the summer, I'm telling my kids, hey, go to these mega camps, go to these
Mhm.
mega camps, go to these mega camps.
Mm.
All right. And if you're dudes and you got invited to a specific camp, all right, you can go to that too, but still make sure you hit the mega camp. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket on this team camp when all they doing is trying to possibly get you to, just pay for the camp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not do
Yeah.
nothing. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see. And then the other part of it is just reality. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta face that reality, man. The kid might not be ready. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
he might not be what you think he is. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I am as a coach, though. I can tell you this: my parents are learning that I'm gonna keep it so funky with them that you know what I'm saying. That's the only way
Yeah.
I know. So I tell them
Yeah.
like, hey, maybe he need to work on, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
maybe his time gonna come. You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I think the other part is they look at other kids too.
That part. Yeah. That
Like
part. Yeah.
they look at other kids and see that, hey, this guy's getting this guy, why my kid ain't getting that? And I get that, but hey, this kid went to 5 freaking camps and got seen. He got more exposure. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He's been on here since a freshman, or
Mm.
stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Everybody and I remember Rack would always say this, like everybody got to run their own race. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you can't try to run somebody else's races based on what they're doing. You can't make so whatever your race is, because I can't make that my race. That you
Yeah.
put in the work you put in was different than the work I put in.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
that's I mean, for me, them the main points when it comes to the recruiting stuff, man. And then just the Twitter, man. It's
Mm.
every freshman I get come in or we got came in, and with the other guys, I'm like, hey, go and build you a Twitter.
Mhm.
Go ahead and get your Twitter going, all right? Because this the day and age of that's how the recruiting is working now.
Mhm.
Get your Twitter. If your Twitter ain't popping, and you don't have a chance. You know what I'm saying? They'll come see you. They'll try to catch you in the midst, but that Twitter, get that Twitter going. Every little thing you do, whether it's, hey man, I just went against this, and the other, don't. I tell my guys, we don't post practice clips.
Mm.
We don't do that. We don't, you know what I'm saying? But anytime you're going against another kid and he's a dude, possibly post that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Or, they want to see you unless you lifting weight. If you lifting weights, hitting 4-5 as a freshman or something like that, that's stuff you post, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So them my 3 main keys on, the mess ups with the parents and the players.
And when you go to those camps, man, be ready to compete, man. Because that's basically what I just heard Coach talk about is
Yep.
compete, 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 and it is what it is, man.
Yep.
You either and for young guys, man, if you're gonna bite as a pup, and that's
Yep.
just what it is, man. So let's transition to your program culture.
Hmm.
So how do you ensure everyone in your program is pulling in the same direction every day? You mentioned structure, but
Yeah.
how do you make sure every single person in your program, from the seventh string linemen to you are all pulling in the same direction?
It starts with the coaches. It starts with me. It starts with my assistant coaches, and then it starts with the players. You know what I'm saying? I tell the coaches what needs to get done, and I try to give it to them day by day.
Nice.
I try to give it to them, each phase. Like, this is the phase we in right now. We phase 2, strength and conditioning right now, going crazy. All right. From the bottom to the top, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it starts for us. And then I make sure they're on the same page with me.
Yeah.
And then they can continue to push the message to the players. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't make no sense if I'm pushing it to the players, but my coaches ain't on the same page.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I run it, man. And
Nice.
make sure the coaches know the deal, to make sure players know the deals. And at this point, it's kind of like grouped up. You got your linemen, your backers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can take your individual coach and make sure he is saying, hey, backers, y'all, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be doing this or doing that. So, and then I'm just being the overall voice over the whole thing of, pushing everybody. And, so.
Yeah, and it sounds to me like alignment, top to bottom, man. That's really what it's about, man. And it starts with you, and it trickle down, and that's just what it is, man. So before I let you go, Coach, again, appreciate your time. What advice would you give a year one football coach looking for an opportunity to make an impact in a program?
Come in ready to work, man. And it's hard for me to sit here and say, don't come in looking for money, but some people got to work. Some people need the money or whatever the case may be. But I would say, come in looking to, be a servant, looking to come in and work. Have a purpose. Like, what's your why? And I always ask my coaches, like, what's your why? Why are you here? Why are you around me? Why are you around these players? You know what I'm saying? Like, have a reasoning to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And everybody reasoning, of course, it should be the kids, but it's also more to the story. You know what I'm saying? So, year one coach, I would say, man, come in willing to work. Wherever coach needs you, do that or be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because your time will come. You know what I'm saying? If you're a guy who played at the next level, then try to give some of your stuff without stepping on toes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from experience. I give much as information as needed or that you allow, without saying, hey, stepping on your toes. Because at the end of the day, as a year one guy, year one coach coming in trying to get on the staff, like, that ain't my program. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So come in, be a helping hand, be in it for the kids. Put in the time, put in what you want out of it. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy it, embrace the moment, and try to get 1% better every time.
Nicely stated, man. Well, thank you for listening to the Offseason 365 podcast. I'm Coach Simmons here with Coach Reddick, and we signing off.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dynasty Athletic Performance and NC Football Connections.